What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Kate. Today we're watching why I've avoided pursuing a career and I'm getting close to 50.
Today I want to talk about why I never pursued a career, and I think I'm happier for it. And I'm, 50 is very close. So I thought this would be helpful, especially for younger folks who feel lost and confused. I think one of the most toxic things of American society is that we always talk about following your passion, chasing your passion, whatever. I'm not going to criticize people who have careers that they absolutely love, because there are many people out there who do love their work, despite the many of us who aren't in love with what we do. Um, if you are a yoga instructor and you get to travel the world and teach all over the place, sounds like a pretty neat job.
Yeah, I want that gig.
Maybe you're a children's book illustrator and you absolutely love your work and you wouldn't trade it for anything. Or maybe you're a professional rock climber and you get to see and climb some of the most majestic and breathtaking mountains across the world. Or maybe you're an investigative journalist. And I think the key to knowing for sure whether you love your work is whether you would wake up and want to do it, regardless of whether you got paid or not. And so for all of you, including me, who never knew exactly what they wanted to do, they had some interest, but not necessarily a passion, so to speak, and uh, didn't know what to do with themselves and then just chose a random path. Or you're a younger person looking as to what to do next, this is for you. So I'm going to start by just telling a story of me in college. Senior year, I was very much, how do I say, I felt very much behind my classmates, and it was March, and I did not know what I was doing next, and graduation was on the horizon. It was in May, and I didn't have a job. I didn't even have a clue as to where to start. And then one of the administrators of my high school knew some people and was well connected, and suggested that I interview for a position at a marketing firm, and they knew the owner, CEO of the company.
That sounds horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I would never pursue something like that. I just wouldn't even, I would say thanks, I appreciate the opportunity, but no way. My anxiety would never allow me to be in that type of situation.
Actually, he might have just been the CEO. I don't know if he was the owner, but anyway, so I interviewed and I got the job. And when I got the offer, well, I should start by saying I had anxiety, a bit of anxiety at the idea of interviewing.
I would too.
And I had anxiety before the interview, and I thought I was just nervous. But when the job offer came, I went into a full panic attack. I actually started hyperventilating and my whole body tensed up, and I really, I was struggling to breathe, and I couldn't and of course that anxiety attack passed, but I still had serious anxiety about it, and um I couldn't do it. My whole body was telling me, don't do it, don't do it. And I have to say, I was never passionate about selling. And marketing is selling in some sense.
I've tried doing sales positions before and I never felt right about it either. I knew that to an extent I had to lie to the people I was trying to sell to in order to get a sale. And I was never comfortable doing that because I always felt like I was scamming people. And I wanted to just be like, hey, you don't need this $20,000 heat pump for your house. You could really just get a little mini splits way cheaper, like go to a different company. But, of course you can't say that. I felt the same. I've always felt that same way. You have to have a certain level of like sociopathy to be a salesperson because you have to not care about the person that's making that purchase. Like, I don't know. At least that's from my experience. That was kind of what they wanted you to do.
people are pitching your company, your company's product or service to the public or to other businesses, and it's just I don't know, I've never been a seller. I don't if I ever recommend something to someone, it's because, I have experience with something, and I had a great experience with that product or service, and therefore, I would feel comfortable recommending it, but I would never just sell something to sell something just to collect a paycheck,
Yeah.
and I think that's what it was, but, I had a certain amount of time to accept the offer, and I declined, and they were shocked, first of all, because I came by recommendation of a very close friend of the CEO's, and then that administrator of my high school who recommended me, um, really kinda got quite mad at me, and understandably so, because this person used, you know they used their position and their connections to assist me.
Yeah, that's why I never like people to get involved with my work like that. I would never be like, "Hey, could you help me find a job? Could you, if you know anybody, let me know." I just I'm not comfortable doing that because if for some reason it doesn't work out, then like that relationship is burned and that bridge is burned because they think you're unreliable and really, she just had anxiety about it. She didn't want to do it.
And I turned it down, and so that was just a disappointment for both of them. But, looking on many decades on, it was not a disappointment for me, and ultimately, I should have just listened to the signs that my body was giving me, um, at the thought of even just having the interview and just
That's extremely good advice. Listen to your body. It's telling you something. It's telling you this is where you're meant to be, this is where you're not meant to be. Oh, I'm getting a call. I'm so sorry, guys.
finished it that like, not even accepted an interview or even said yes to the idea of it. That would have been the responsible, solution, but I didn't. I was a lost, confused college student, and there was a lot of pressure to just feel like I was doing something,
Mhm.
and,
Yeah, it is disgusting to me, the amount of pressure that schools and people put on you to go and make all these big, giant decisions at 18 years old. Like, are you crazy? Are you smoking crack? You want me to make a decision about a career that I'm gonna be doing every day for the next 60 years? Like, I just always in my head, I was just always like, I mean, I have to say, in my high school days, I also felt that pressure and I kind of just didn't know what to do. So I ended up going to college for nursing. And the reason I did that, to be quite honest, is because my sister was a nurse and I knew that she was able to at least pay off her loans and she seemed to be doing okay. Besides the fact that she would call every other week with a panic attack about how much she hated it, I thought, okay, I'll try to do that. Well, I did school for a little while and I had that anxiety and that feeling of like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I even doing this? And yeah, needless to say, I ended up intentionally failing out of nursing school. I transferred majors like 3 times. I don't even use my degree. I have it. It's on my wall in my kitchen, but I'll never use it. I wish I never went. It was a complete waste of time. Um, but, for some people it works out, I guess. I don't know. But for a lot of us, it seems like it doesn't it? Like it seems like a lot of us are stuck with a lot of debt and not a lot of ways to pay it off.
that's a shitty feeling if anyone knows it, and you feel like you're being left behind, so to speak, because everyone's going off and launching these careers of theirs in big major cities,
Yeah.
and so, of course, when someone tells me, "Why don't you interview I know the CEO of this big marketing firm in a major US city," then part of your brain is telling you to do it, even though instinctively, you know it's not correct for
Mhm.
you. Um, so I declined, and ever since then, I will say that I don't have a career because I personally was not in tune with myself um, and what I wanted to do when I grew up, so to speak. I think I'm slowly figuring that out, but, so I'm saying this with 50 on the horizon because, I've led a very interesting life. It's not successful by the standard, model of which most people in this country judge success. Um, I don't have a massive bank account. I'm not broke, but I don't have a massive bank account. I don't have my 401k. I don't have a mortgage on a house. I never bought a house. I don't have like I don't have the conventional success model. I don't have a career, right? So I guess my point is that after college, I just kind of wandered. And I think we are so hard on ourselves that we don't tend to let ourselves wander.
Yeah, I wish I would have let myself do that. I ended up I'll do a video on it. But when I was in college in nursing school, I ended up having like a complete mental breakdown. And when I tell you that, I mean it was complete. It was a full-blown mental breakdown, panic about life and the future. And I am glad that happened to me because it forced me to stop and be like, what are we doing here, Caitlin? We don't want to do any of this. We need to figure out who we are and we need to figure out where we're going because right now this ship is just like it's sinking. This is not going to work for us. And my whole body knew it, and I think that's a big reason also I had that mental breakdown because I always ignored my body. I ignored the physical symptoms telling me like this is not for you. This is making you extremely uncomfortable and anxious because this is not for you. And I ignored it for so long to the point where it all just boiled over and I just couldn't do anything at that point. And it is so sad the pressure that's put on young people. I mean, that time of your life is just, it's so weird and hard to just transition in general out of the prison school system that we have here in the United States, which is what it is. Okay. And then you come out and they expect you to just have it all together and get it all together. And it's like, what you taught me the square root of a triangle, but I don't know how to pay my taxes. I don't know anything about taxes. I don't know about quarterly taxes. I don't know about 1099, W2, any of this. And it's quite sad. It really is. But this is so encouraging, like to me. I'm loving this video because I do not lead a conventional life by any means. I have my own little business that I do, and now I'm trying to do YouTube, and I'm trying to figure out ways to make money without having to sacrifice 100% of my time and energy. Because to me, true success in my eyes for me and my life is to have time. Because I look around and I realize that time is money, and that's why they want so much of it from you. Um, because when you're giving all your time, you're taking it from your own life and you're taking away something really valuable. And to me, I'm just not willing to do that. I'm not willing to go sit in a cubicle for 10 hours a day working for some a-hole, billionaire, millionaire, whatever, to make more money while I'm sitting struggling to pay my bills and I'm on this fixed income and I'm struggling now. I'm very glad that I never even forced myself to do that because I always just kind of knew I was going to do something different with my life. And it's cool to see other people that have also done something different. And look, she looks happy to me. She's out in the woods. I mean, she's living her life. She's doing YouTube. To me, that's success.
When wandering can sometimes be the best thing for us because it helps us discover who we are
Mhm.
in different contexts and just not just context, but also geography. I did kind of bounce around quite a bit. I lived abroad for a long time in many countries and worked as well legally. Um, but I developed many different skills, none of which point to a certain career, but certainly have transferred into valuable skills for other industries and other types of work. So I think that's really interesting. Or I should say it's great because I pursued a life that is interesting and kind of followed my nose, followed my curiosity instead of trying to build a career. Again, there are trade offs with everything. I'm not saying that this is the answer for everyone. Um, and I believe anyone can do this at any age. You can change.
Yeah. That's the point of this is if you're miserable in your career or your job, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're miserable at all in anything, you don't have to be. You can change it at any age, at any point in time. You could be 90 years old and you can still change your bad habits and become a better version of yourself. It's always possible. I will never allow myself again to believe that I'm just the way that I am and I'm stuck and this is who I am and I just can't progress and become better. It's that I've been very stuck in that mindset before. It was when I had that breakdown. And yeah, I it's no way to live your life. You don't being miserable in a job is no way to live your life, okay? And there is always something different that you can do. There are millions of possibilities, billions, trillions, okay? The world is your oyster. You are the pearl. I want to be positive and encouraging to anybody out there because I'm serious. Like, I'm going to make a video about it. I'm telling you, years ago, I was sitting in a psych ward with no future. I had failed out of college. I had no job. I had nothing. And now I'm running my own business that I enjoy. I work with my bestie. I'm doing YouTube. I have my homestead. I garden. I can food. I'm 28 years old. I'm learning how to can food and like make sourdough bread and all that crap just because I have time to do it and why not? It's it's quite beautiful when you really allow yourself to have a chance at just something different. You don't have to do what everybody else around you is doing because honestly, they're unhappy. And the people telling you to do it, the people forcing you into a career, they know how miserable it is. And they know that it's not worth it on the other side, but they just want you to do what they did because they did it. I mean,
You just have to look at what you're saying yes to, and by saying yes to those things, what are you saying no to? Um, for example, I knew that if I bought a house or a condo or something, that I would be chained to a mortgage, and therefore that mortgage would chain me to a job. And if I, and a job that pays me enough to cover maintenance, mortgage, insurance, property taxes. And I didn't want those golden handcuffs. Um,
I don't blame you at all.
I wanted a bit more freedom to change and to grow and to move as I saw fit. And there are some people who do really well with a structured, conventional life, and more to power to them, no criticism. But I knew that that wasn't for me. And I think that's the most important thing is finding out what's not right for us, because usually it's easier to figure out what's not right for us than it is to find out what is right for us. And eventually we find our way and move in the direction that is best for us.
Yeah, that's exactly like I just told you. I learned basically I figured out what I wanted and that I could make a life that wasn't so miserable by figuring out all the things I didn't want to do. And I worked a couple of odd jobs. I mean, I remember I worked at UPS doing the dock unloading, okay? 3 a.m. you had to be there for that shit, okay? And they had me unloading gigantic tractor trailers. They were packed all the way to the top with packages that could weigh anywhere from 20 to 100 pounds. And I was unloading this by myself at 3 a.m. It was awful. I didn't last more than 3 days, but I figured out I don't want to work in a warehouse. That's a no for Caitlin. And it was an important step on my path and my journey. And I don't regret that I tried something different. I tried to be a salesperson for an HVAC company. And I spent months learning all about the sales and everything. And I finally got to the actual opportunity where I was going to go sell. And I realized that I was never going to be able to do it because it didn't sit right with my conscience. And should I sit and harp on the fact that I wasted all that time, trying to figure it out? And I mean, I could do that, but I prefer to just look at it like it was really important for my growth and for discovering who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And it's all okay. No harm, no foul. It's okay to try things and fail. It's part of the process.
Finding our true north, so to speak. So again, I may not be I may not fit the mold for conventional success, but I have to say aside from working on my health through juice fasting at the moment, which is going really well, but I'll do a separate video on that. I'm
My blood sugar could never.
quite content. I'm quite happy. My needs are simple. I really find great enjoyment being outdoors and being active. I love living in the mountains. It's fantastic.
It's my dream. I'm going to have it someday. I'm going to live in the mountains at some point, somehow, some way.
And except the extra long winter. Yikes.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, I think it's really important that we stop pressuring ourselves into fitting into the societal mold, especially in the US. And I know this is also very strong in Asia, fitting the societal mold and just, ignoring parts of us that are actually essential to our happiness. So, if you're willing to risk being judged by other people, whether they're close to you or not, and just following your interests and doing what's right for you, and that brings you peace of mind, then this is the sort of path for you. I have to say that I don't have the stresses that my former classmates have. I don't have any of that.
It's so interesting she's saying this because I'm at this crossroads in my life right now where I'm kind of looking around and it's time for me to start thinking about getting married to my boyfriend and having a family and all of these things. And I'm really thinking about like, what do I want and what kind of stress am I willing to take on? Because I'm realizing like so many people, they put themselves under tremendous stress, like insanely high stress, like you're going to have a heart attack if you don't chill. But they'll do it because they want the material things, or they think it's better for their kid to go to this school here or whatever. And I don't know, I'm just thinking about like it's very interesting and it's really empowering when you really let yourself think about you and like consider if you're really happy and what will make you happy, and do you see yourself being happy if you follow the conventional way and going along with everyone else? And if the answer is no, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and do something different. I've wanted to do YouTube for so long. I've said this so many times on my channel. I'm going to keep saying it because I can't believe that I'm even sitting here making these videos. I can't tell you. It's literally been 5, 6, 7 years of wanting to do this. And I never had the guts to do it because I was always scared of people judging me. And I failed to see that actually the most critical person in my life is me. And I don't think anybody could ever be as harsh on me as I am. And the reason I'm so harsh on myself is because I know I can do better and be better and have a whole different life than other people do. And I want to push myself to that level. I think it's also a lot of, trauma, whatever, with people being mean to me. And so I just developed that voice for myself. But I don't know. I went off on a tangent.
Of course, I also don't, have certain things that they have as well. So again, everything's a trade-off. But I don't have the financial pressures they have. And I don't have to stay in a job or just jump from one corporate firm to another. I don't have to. If I want to leave a job, I can leave it. And I don't have to worry about how am I going to make next month's mortgage, or how am I going to pay for, this $700 car payment or whatever it is, because apparently the average car payment in America is somewhere upwards of like $600 or $700 right now.
I'm going to start taking my horse everywhere. That's insane. I don't have a car payment right now. Thank God my car is paid off and I'm trying to keep her alive as long as possible. But that's insane. We're going to have to do a whole video on car payments alone if that's true.
And that's insane. I mean, each your own, but that I would never do that.
No. Hell no. No, hell no. I won't be doing that.
Another thing I'd like to mention is that if you don't follow a career, sure, you may not make as much money,
or you might make a heck of a lot more money too. Throwing that out there.
and by career, I mean like a corporate career, or, you own your own business, not because you love it, but it's a business that you'd be good at, so you do it. Um, and that is that I don't go home and think about work. I do not stress about it. I think I can count on my hand how many days I've stressed about work in the last 5 years, on one hand,
I bet you this lady lives to be like 110. Not even kidding. Because I swear, stress is what kills people. It really is.
and it doesn't even fill one hand. So there's something there's something in that, and of course you have to simplify your needs. You have to simplify your bills. And people always say they can't do something. Oh, you can do that, but I can't. It's like, no, you're choosing not to.
Yeah. Like, sweetheart, you don't need that manicure, okay? Listen, I would love to go get a manicure every other week. That would be I would love it. My nails wouldn't look disgusting all the time. But you know what? I can't afford it. I don't want to afford. I don't want to have to work for that just to have nights. I don't know. To me, I'd rather have the time and the energy to put elsewhere than to have some $800, $100, whatever manicure, full set of nails every week. Like, I don't know. Girls that do that, to me, that's just, you're spending so much money. I mean, it's crazy.
Instead of thinking why you can't do something, it's important to think about how and why you can do something,
Mhm.
and what the benefits might be, and then compare and contrast instead of writing off ideas before you've even explored them.
Yeah, I've so many people, like, they'll say to me, "Oh, I could never run my own business. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that." And I say to them, like, "What?" I mean, I always thought that I couldn't. I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't think that I couldn't, but I always thought it would be way too much work and I wouldn't want to do it. But now that I'm doing it, the freedom I feel knowing that I can just go out there and find money and just make it because I decided to do this, like, it's so empowering. It's like a key to a piece of freedom that a lot of people just don't have because their jobs literally lock them up all day long and they can't leave.
That's what keeps people in a cycle of anxiety, stress, and misery. So anyway, I know that the way I live is not for everyone, and I'm not judging anyone on their choices. I'm just offering this information in case it's valuable to you or to anyone else who may see this video. And I just wish you the best. I hope everyone has a great day. If you feel like sharing your experiences about work and life and stress, or your own life path, um, feel free to share it in the comments section below. I'm always interested in hearing other people's stories and experiences. This is how we all grow and expand our lives, and start to understand each other instead of just hate each other. So anyway, have
That was a great video, guys. I loved it. I hope that you got something out of it. Tell me about your career choices. I'd love to hear in the comments down below. I'd love to hear too. Just, what do you do? Do you like what you do? Do you want to do something else? Can I encourage you to do something else today? Because I think we can all take a little bit of that advice, and just making your own way and just making your own happiness in life. Like, my goodness, come on, the corporate model is so soulless. I know you're not happy. I mean, my mom works in corporate, okay? And she claims that she loves it. She insists that she likes it, but I see the stress in her eyes. I feel it when I'm around her, that energy of just like that stress of being in a corporate environment. And I just want to make a different way for myself. And if I have children, I want them to see that you can always make a different way and you don't have to just do what everybody else is doing and follow along, follow the leader. We don't have to play that game. This is your life, my friend, your life, and you can do whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let them, because they're just telling you that because they never felt free enough to do their own thing. And I hope that encourages you guys. So have a great rest of your day. I'm having a great day, and I'm going to go outside, maybe play some of that Sudoku, get off my phone a little bit, and just, enjoy the great outdoors. And, we should all do that. So have a great rest of your day, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.